Hey, you. Yeah, you. Person listening to the podcast. Are you aware of what you're listening to? Are you positive that you want to listen to the BlahCade podcast? I'm your host, Chris Freebus, aka Shut Your Trap. Joining me as always, Jared Morgan.
BlahCade podcast may contain traces of stuff.
Side effects include, no.
Things.
Things.
Side effects, things, and unusual behaviors. Yes.
But no bodily fluids, so that's all good.
No body fluids, no topical cream required to listen to the BlahCade podcast.
So we were doing the podcast today, and strangely enough, although I'm sure I'll fix this during the course of it, I have nothing new to talk about this week, Jared.
This is very surprising because you always have
something
new to talk about.
I've had one of those weeks where the week just passed, and I went, okay, I've had nothing happen. There's like just
life. Life happens.
Just life, and very minimal of that. It was like, okay, sure, I went to the beach with the family, but when I go to the beach, my brain just completely turns off, which is what's supposed to happen when you're at the beach.
Exactly. That sounds perfectly fine.
Exactly. Yeah. I always said if I told my son, I go, when you grow up and you get exceedingly wealthy off of whatever job it is that you do, and you feel the need to buy mom and dad a house like a lot of really rich kids that grow up do, then buy us a beach house. That's what we want.
Beach house, yeah, exactly.
And then we will go to the beach house and effectively just veg
all day, every day. Off the profits that you make from whatever very high paying job that you have.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be pretty good. Yeah.
It's me and my wife have discussed it. It is absolutely impossible, no matter what is going on in our life, to not just let it all go when you're at the beach. To just clear your brain, and you're sitting there listening to the waves or going in the water, and it's this just calm serenity that overtakes you, and I haven't checked my phone in 3 hours. Oh, well.
That whatever. Kind of, exactly. Yeah, that's so good, isn't it? Yeah.
It's the best.
It's like the something about the salt water air that just disconnects you from all the other stuff that's going on in your life.
And the white noise of the waves crashing, and the feel of sand between your toes, and the warmth of the sun just beating down, and and yet you got the wind, so you're not like broiling hot. Yeah, it's just everything.
It's good. It's the best ever. It really is.
I really feel sad when I hear about people that have never seen the ocean.
Oh, like if they're landlocked, those folks that are landlocked in the middle of America or something like that, and it's a real problem for them. And it's like,
and then I also think about, okay, fine, maybe you've seen the ocean, but maybe you're not at one of these beach. There's a difference between coastlines, obviously. Some coastlines are you might as well be at a lake for the amount of wave activity that's happening.
Yeah, it's sheltered as anything.
Yeah, and other cities, it's not a beach at all. It's just up against the ocean. And that's where I just go, I think that would suck.
Yeah. Well, it's actually my son is going to be going up for a little mini holiday with his grandparents for next week, because we're in school holiday period at the moment. There's a 2-week school holiday break before they go back and do the third term of school. And he will be going up to a place called Mooloolaba, and Mooloolaba is basically a coastal town. That's where his grandparents live, and it's one of those beaches. How we're talking about the surf beaches versus the sheltered beach. Well, it's definitely a sheltered beach. It's got a big headland, and the way the waves and the prevailing winds normally blow, it is always a nice, safe, sheltered beach for families, and you can just float around in the ocean. There's something to be said for that. Like you basically just get in there and you just float, and you just let the waves carry you around. Because there's no danger of you being washed out to sea or anything. It's like you would know if you're being washed out to sea. It's basically no rips or anything there. So, and it's really nice. And occasionally you'll get like a bit of a wave that will push you into the shore, but they're pretty rare, and it's really lovely.
I guess the big difference that I know of between Australia beaches and the beaches here in California are we don't have to worry about jellyfish.
No, no, you don't because we're near the tropics.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're lucky. We
Ah,
will get infestations of blue bottles and things like that that just sweep into the beach, and there's nothing you can do about them. They just get carried by the wind, and they just come in, and you're wrecked. If you go down that one day to the beach and you haven't read the forecast, and they say, "Oh, your blue bottles are around, don't bother coming," it's like, "Oh well, okay, that's a wasted trip." Because
mm-hmm.
you can't swim anywhere. Yeah, it's a real bummer. And the jellyfish are good down here too. We have the usual sort of blue blobby jellyfish that you see, but then you have the real, not so much down where we are in Brisbane, but up north you get the box jellyfish or the irukandji, and they're quite bad. You don't want to be stung by them because they'll kill you.
we
It's like
we
practically anything in Australia, but they
yeah.
will.
We'd gone to the aquarium of the Pacific, and they had, they always have these little touch pools, so you can touch various animals or whatever. And they had jellyfish that you could touch,
Oh,
and that was really cool to be able to. I can't remember if they're the moon jellyfish. I don't know, but they have it's a big dome on top, and you push on it, and it's much firmer than I
you
really
think?
expected it to feel. And they said that it is actually stinging you, but it's such a low sting to us that it doesn't. We can't even feel it.
Also, the whole
Um,
surface of the jellyfish is actually stinging.
yes,
Like, oh, so they could, if there was a fish, they would probably get done by it. But it,
or something of that, or a very small fish, probably. Yeah, yeah.
wow, I had no idea that. I thought it was only the tentacles that were the dangerous part. But yeah, there you go.
I don't know.
Huh.
I mean, maybe it was the tentacles, but they said no matter what, you're not going to notice if it stings you, because they said it's so mild to the human touch.
Oh,
But
there you
yeah,
go.
that was really cool to be able to touch a jellyfish. Never thought I'd do
That
that.
that is pretty cool. I know of this place on Earth that has jellyfish that don't sting, and you can just swim with them. There's this sort of a landlocked saltwater lake or something, and these jellyfish were in there, and they've been there for centuries, and they haven't required any defense mechanism,
Hmm.
so they don't sting, and you can swim with them, you can brush up against them, and you don't get stung at all. It's crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is.
All right, enough talk about beach.
Yeah.
What have
So
you got for us this week, Jared? Because it's going to be a lot on you. What are you
yeah.
bringing to the table?
Well, I could talk about first. We'll have a bit of a chat about digital pinball first because I've been having a play with the Wipeout beta. Um,
Yeah, that doesn't
yeah.
come to PC.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it's okay. With the beta one was pretty early, as betas normally are. But we're on beta 2 now, and the table's starting to take shape quite nicely. There were a lot more art assets added in beta
Oh,
2, and you can actually start seeing a lot more of the cool stuff on the table. And I've got to say that of those parts of the table that are plastic molded and stuff like that, they've really done quite a good job of capturing the the trees and the scenery that they've actually put onto these plastic things. It actually looks surprisingly realistic,
okay.
um, like versus the other one. And you know how last episode we were talking about, no, a couple of episodes ago, we were talking about your thoughts about a table when you played it originally versus now. Um, well, I was playing. As soon as I loaded up the table, I thought, "Oh, the ski lift is in a completely different place than I thought." Um, I actually remembered the ski lift being sort of over to the left of or over to the right of the playfield, where the actual um, the downhill sort of mechanism is that juggles the balls around. But
Okay.
it's not. So it's over on the left hand side of the playfield, and I think I'm actually getting confused with Popeye actually, because I think Popeye had a similar sort of mechanism that raised the ball up to the upper boat playfield, and I think that's what I'm getting confused with. But
Oh,
but yeah, the it's funny. Like Gottlieb were one of the manufacturers that had used the approach. Let's have one big feature on the playfield, and then that's kind of it.
Yeah,
And
one big
one big
feature.
feature. This one, it's a big enough feature that it kind of dominates the entire thing, and it means that for that table, because the ski lift is such a huge mechanism and it blocks pretty much 2/3 of the playfield, there's not really a lot going on in this game because of that. And it's a shame because they could have done a lot more things with this. I think they could have put extra ramps in that area that would have made a better go of it, and used another mechanism to actually raise the ball. I guess the idea with the ball going up like it does is that it's supposed to represent some sort of ski lift mechanism, or the ball going to the top of the slope essentially. But there would have had to be another way they could have done it. It's just a waste of real estate, really. But going back to the way the actual recreation of the table, Farsight's done yet again a pretty good job of doing it. All the plastics and everything are really crisp. Playfield is quite crisp as well. I'm noticing that on the insert lights, there's they sort of have an orange tinge to them, and I'm not sure if that is the color of the playfield lenses or just the color of the lighting that they've chosen. I think they've sort of gone with more of a warm orangey light with the playfield lights on mobile than what they normally do. I don't know. It seems yellowy to me.
Okay.
Or warmer, I guess. But it's okay. You can still see the actual inserts very clearly when they light up, so that's not a problem. It's just an unusual tone, that's all. As far as things that have been causing me trouble on the table, not really that much, really. It's actually running pretty well. Flippers are field tuned well to me on this table. It's sort of the ball doesn't fly up the one ramp that you have in the game. It sort of just goes up there at the expected speed. And everything else, it's playing pretty right to me, which is good.
Do they have the Black Knight emulation in this beta also?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I think it's potentially coming. I think they're probably just wanting to lock down Wipeout first, and they might add the Black Knight stuff in a little bit later towards the end of the beta, I think. Not sure, though, because I haven't actually got any confirmation from Farsight on that, but that's what I'm assuming will probably happen.
On the forum thread, Flippy Floppy seemed to indicate that we were going to be getting Black Knight emulation this go around, and then the next one they would be working on would be Gorgar. And then I asked the question, right, which is good. And then I asked the question, so then we'll get firepower after that, and they were like, no, it seems scripted pretty fine. And
it's like, I'm gonna let you finish, but you just said scripted. So
yeah, exactly. I'm like, but it's the same system as Gorgar and Black Knight, so emulate it.
Why not just emulate it?
Yeah. I don't care how good you have it scripted; it's never going to be as good as the real deal. I mean, that's.
And I've seen the difference between Black Knight scripted and Black Knight emulated. It's amazing. Like the difference is incredible. And sure, that particular script job may not have been super good at the time, but it's different enough. Like the fact that they're saying, well, what's the difference? Could you have videos about it? And I said, well, for one, the HUD, the heads up display is completely different. Like all you've got is this one score counter. So that's not even representative of the real table. Like it should have at least the 4 score panels and the numerals in them and the credit and the match and all that sort of stuff. Like all those sort of the regular heads up display that you get. And that will then allow you to do the in Firepower, that would allow you to do the multiple backglass animation where it counts it down as it releases, and having all the numbers rolling around on the backglass. It looks really cool.
Right, because on those particular tables, they did basically like what they did with Genie, where they did this stylized score it has its own frame and little
Yeah,
art asset to it, as opposed to just being the regular bit of score
yeah,
business.
and that's what it
Yeah,
should be. And because if it's directly emulated, you're going to get that animation on the back glass, and it's going to look really cool.
right, right.
Um, so yeah, that's kind of like what I'm really looking forward to with that game. Because really, with Firepower, the multi-ball is the feature, and when
Yeah.
you're missing that back glass animation, you're missing a whole lot of the game's feature, really.
Mm.
And I'd almost, I don't know, I'd have to compare apples with apples, but I wonder if they've actually got all the sounds right in the script for that.
With Firepower?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't believe they do.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. It's interesting, and again, this is your perception versus reality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, and I'm experiencing it with my 8-Ball Deluxe, and that is the way the soundboards worked. They couldn't do two sounds at the same time. So
That's
if one
right.
sound was triggering, it was going, and then it would either have to stop or get interrupted by the other sound.
Yeah.
And that's the same case with Firepower, where I had thought that there were certain sounds that would continue even though other sounds were firing, and yet in Farsight's, they suddenly stop and allow the other sound to pass through.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess there is a new soundboard out there that can process all those sounds at once,
Oh, okay.
and therefore it won't be interrupted. Sounds will just layer on top of sounds.
Oh, so you
Um,
think there's actually one you can
yeah.
drop and replace into the board, and it will actually handle, because of the fact that they've
Yes.
got more circuitry in them now, it will actually handle the multi-channels.
Yes. And more memory
Mm.
and all the above. Yes. It's the same soundboard also has the ability for you to drop in your own music.
Ah, yeah, that's the pin sound board, is it? Yeah.
I think that's what. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but so anyway, I thought, oh, that'd be a really cool mod if not that Farsight would do it, but that'd be really cool to
You could basically,
and
and imagine like if it hit the launch lane, then you could actually theme it completely Star Wars and have like the Star Wars music launch for the launch
right.
music and all that. And it'd be pretty cool. And then have, yeah, you could easily retheme to Star Wars then and have it convincingly rethemed.
Well, and if I ever had Centaur, I would certainly, as soon as multi-ball kicked in, throw in my Burly Brawl music from The Matrix, like I had in that one ROM. But
For sure.
yeah, no, it'd be kind of interesting to do. But I just think it'd be fascinating to listen to these tables with all their original sounds, but their original sounds not being cut off by each other,
Yeah.
just playing through and multi-tracking it, basically.
Yeah,
So,
that would be really cool to hear. So the beta. The other thing in the beta which they've introduced is a new ball packs. So they've got the Doctor Who ball packs now,
okay.
and they've also got glow balls as well. Now these balls in mobile, they actually they don't have a lot of environmental lighting to them, of course, because they don't have that on mobile. But they do have a drop shadow that's glowing, and the ball itself has actually sort of got a very very bright fluorescent glow to it. There's
Okay.
about six colors you can choose of the glow balls. They're all like fluorescent colors, and I've got to say that while they don't look very authentic, they make it a lot easier to play some of the really darker games in
Yeah, I
season 1 and
bet.
2.
I
Like
bet.
basically they're standing out so prominently on the playfields, and even on things like that playfields that are usually very dark in color. Like, imagine playing with a fluorescent yellow glow ball on something like Dracula, right?
Right.
Like that thing would just
I mean, a
be,
lot of people have done basically essentially that by choosing the happy face ball because it's
yeah,
bright yellow.
that's right. And it is good for really dark tables. I have used that before as well, but I'm really tending towards these glow balls now on practically all the tables because it just makes the ball so much more prominent in the mix.
Does it make the ball look larger? Because that is
A
my
little.
problem with some of these ball packs and which ones you choose. Because the silver ball, I mean, I know all these balls are exactly the same size, but the silver, based off of the shading and the color drop off, then you throw in one of these bright balls, and it looks basically it's kind of like the ceramic ball in Twilight Zone, where it just looks larger because you don't get that drop off for the curvature of the ball.
Yeah, it's they do appear to be larger, but physically there's no change to them, of course. They don't have any change in properties. They're just a glow skin put on the ball. But you're right, they do appear to look different. But your eye gets, I found that my eye does get in very quickly when I'm playing with them. So I think if you were put off by the glow drop shadow and everything sort of throwing you off, I'd suggest going for some of the darker balls, the darker glow balls, not really the light ones. And you won't have a problem. But what I would be interested to see is what they look like in DX11, because I think they're going to actually have a throw on them. So they're going to actually affect the light being thrown around on the other objects. Now that is going to be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
So yeah, that would be cool to see.
I'm sitting here snickering because my wife often is in the other room while we're recording these, and so she only hears one side of the conversation, and is not very interested in pinball to begin with. So whenever all of a sudden start talking about glowing balls or balls went straight down the middle, or it becomes a very double entendre filled one-sided conversation.
Yes. Yeah, there's nothing like balls going straight down the middle.
And balls draining, and yes, now we're talking about dark balls with a glow. It's just one of those things that I'll hear these snickers from the other room and be like, oh my goodness, yeah, if you're only hearing one side of the conversation, this is a nasty conversation.
Yeah. Giggity. Giggity. Yeah.
So are they probably introducing that with the glow pack with Wipeout, or
I think so. Yeah, I think it'll be going out with Wipeout. So that is something to consider. Like normally, I wouldn't really bother buying a ball pack, but in this case, I actually would. It's I think it might actually make a difference to how your scores are affected on some of the earlier tables,
right?
Just purely because it's so much more visible. Like the balls don't get lost. So have a think about it, give it a go, and if you do end up buying a ball pack, let us know at BlahCade what you think through our various contact methods. We'd like to hear.
Hey, why don't we give some of those out right now just for the fun of it?
Yeah, sure.
Why not mix things up? You can drop us an email, BlahCade@gmail.com, or you can drop us a note on Twitter. Jared is @JaredMorgs. I am @ShutYourTrap. And the show is @BlahCade.
Yeah, so hit us up. So what was the other thing that I wanted?
Well, you can think about the other thing. I'm going to mention the Steam sale that's going on right now.
Oh, bargains.
Since we're in the digital realm of pinball. So, Steam summer sale is going on right now. And both Zen and Pinball Arcade are on sale, as well as, a lot of other Pro Pinball is on sale. I think it's down to $12.
Okay.
Instead of the 16 or 17 that it was. Various other, kind of wonky pinball tables that are offered are on sale. But the big guns, Zen and Farsight, are on sale. So just to give you a clue, this is through July 5th. So you should be able to get it even after listening to this podcast, which is rare. Usually we're behind. But yeah, so you can pick up, and the way Farsight prices these, basically just pick up the Pro Pack because it's all of 20 cents more than the standard pack. So Season 1 is right now at $20. Season 2 is at $20. Season 3 is at $20, and these are all for the Pro Packs. And then Season 4, here's your big bargain. It's at 75% off right now for $10.
Wow, that's a bargain.
And then Season 5 has the least, but hey, it's on sale, 25% off. It is $30 for the Pro Pack, which is basically it's the same price as the standard price for if you didn't go Pro, which is also $30. So anyway, we always say to those of you that complain about consoles and being behind and everything, this is the time if you want to jump on board and not pay gobs of money that you already have previously paid.
Even if you are thinking of maybe getting rid of your console sometime this year, do this now. Get a Steam account.
Otherwise you're gonna have to wait all the way until December.
Yeah,
and there's no guarantee, because oftentimes Farsight will do their sale only once. There's been plenty of times where they did it during the summer and did not do it during the winter. So there's no guarantee that it'll be here again in December. So yeah. If you're
gonna do it, and do it now. Do it now.
I mean, especially season 4 for $10. I mean, that's a bargain. Yeah,
there's some good tables in season 4. Yeah.
Now,
so do it.
If you want to talk real huge bargains, Zen is blowing out tables left and right.
Oh.
So a lot of their tables are they're 75% off, which means you're getting tables for 75 cents, essentially. I'm talking about Venom, Deadpool, Excalibur, Civil War. Let's see what else we got here. Paranormal, Doctor Strange, Epic Quest, Ms. Explosion. The huge sale. How can you resist this? 50 cents. Plants vs. Zombies.
Oh, jeez. Do it. I wish I could get access to that. I wish I could get that on Plants vs. Zombies on mobile. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. They didn't get the licensing right for it.
No, they didn't. But then you got things like, the Pinball FX 2 Core Pack, 75% off. It's $2.50.
All right.
A lot of their stuff at 75% off. The Pinball FX2 Originals season, I'm not sure which that is. Anyways, it's only $3.75. And then even newer tables like the Aliens pack is 60% off at $4.
Well, that's a bargain for that collection of tables. Like
you've
good
got
tables.
Various Star Wars and Marvel packs that are 75% off. So I mean, a lot of times Zen will do either 50% off or 66% off. This sale, virtually everything is 75% off. So again, now's the time if you have ever wanted to jump from console to PC, or if you're one of those people that's like, Zen's all right, but I prefer Pinball Arcade. Well, these kind of prices, what the heck? I mean,
give it a go. Yeah.
Jump on it.
You'll be surprised. Like, for the amount of enjoyment you'll get out of your 75 cents, you'll be pretty happy. Put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, the Alien pack is fantastic. The Star Wars packs are pretty decent. Being able to get, like I said, Plants vs. Zombies for 50 cents is kind of a no-brainer. It's not that wonderful a table, but who cares? Epic Quest for that cheap, you got to go for it. So
you got to do it. Yeah, absolutely. Get on it. And
I have not paid full price for any of my Zen tables. I always wait for these sales. So
speaking of Zen, I saw a very interesting tweet from them this week, and it said 2017 is going to be a huge year for pinball from the Zen pinball team.
Yeah,
I wonder what that is all about.
I hope it's not just VR.
No, I hope not. Yeah, because I don't know. We're a good way through 2017 at the moment, so that suggests to me that they're going to be finishing with a big bang this year, with some titles that they're holding out. Because we really
large pack because last tour
we haven't seen a release from them for a while now, have we?
No, we haven't, and it was a single table.
Yeah, it was. So, yeah, I wonder what they got up their sleeve. Be very interesting to see.
It would be. Somebody on the forum started a false rumor that it was going to be Batman.
Yeah.
So
no.
You could have fun. I still say they need to do Harry Potter pinball because it's such a no-brainer.
Jeez. Why would they not do that? Jeez, come on. Let's have a little chat to Ms. Rowling and get it done. Absolutely. It'd be so good. Anyhow, Oh, I remembered the other thing I was going to talk about.
Yes.
And that was we had the Brisbane Pinball Club meet at Netherworld this
Yes.
week. Yeah, and I got to play that crazy transporter pin that I was talking about in the
Yes,
last
you
episode.
posted pictures of it. I can honestly say I've never seen that table.
Yeah, me neither. And I've got to say that for the era of table that it is, it's a lot of fun. It is brutal as anything. There's so many opportunities to drain on that table. It's ridiculous, but it's a lot of fun. Like that, the upper ramp, for those who didn't see the pictures on Twitter, it's got a very similar assembly to Flight 2000 with the ball juggler mechanism. And although I think in this one it's actually done a little bit better because
Shocker.
yes, well, yeah, you can obviously see that they copy that mechanism totally from Stern Electronics, but that's fine because what they've done is they've also added a Moon Knight-esque crossover cross playfield ramp to a spinning circle, I guess you could call it, like in Taxi, where you shoot the ball up and it spins around the little spinning chamber. And as soon as I saw the crossover ramp, I thought, oh, that's totally like Moon Knight in Zen.
Yeah.
And you have that magically appearing ramp that you got to shoot cross play for. I thought that's really cool. So yeah, nice one, Zen. I reckon that's where you got the idea for it. So that's pretty cool. But the idea with this game is you shoot the drop targets and you light your locks and you shoot the big, long left ramp all the way up to the top of this lock mechanism, and you lock your balls in there, and then you start multi-ball. And I pumped in a lot of coins into this in between tournament games, and I still didn't get multi-ball on it. It is a hard table. And the way this person's done it is they put super bright flashes, LED flashes, right in the problem is that the flashes are right near the flippers and they're in inserts in the playfield. And it's just like, oh, so you basically complete the drops for lock, and then all of a sudden you just get blinded by these flashes of doom. And you go, whoa! My retinas are seared. Stick a fork in them because they're done. But it's got a spinner on the right-hand side of the playfield that leads underneath all of the upper playfield stuff. It's basically a tunnel that goes underneath it all. And it's a surprisingly fun game to play. Like I repeatedly pumped money into it, and the other people that I was talking to there, they said, that game, it's a really fun game. There's something about it that I really like.
This is same era Bally as like Dr. Dude and
Party Zone.
Party Zone. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that weird speakers on the top of the back box sort of head box thing. And yeah, it's got a charm to it.
Game show, all those.
Yeah.
Bally, they were doing some good stuff. My only gripe is I hate those ramps. Well, I shouldn't say I hate them.
The really long, tall ramps that they always had in these games.
No, the plastic. There's no metal ramps. There's no trails that Williams would have done. And I just think that they would look fantastic with the metal as opposed to the plastic. Now, part of my gripe about that is most of the time when I come across these tables, all the plastic is yellowed. Instead of being nice and shiny clear, it's now that yellowed plastic.
This is definitely the case. There was a lot of yellow, especially that the cross playfield ramp, which was it was kind of a little bit ribbed. The ball went over this structure, make it look quite ribbed, and yeah, it was yellow, very yellow.
And it's also you wind up feeling like you're viewing everything through plastic, because Bally would throw a ton of these ramps, and they're wide, and so think about No Good Gophers. And those size, well, they're not even ramps; they're return lanes, basically. But going through the middle of the playfield.
Yeah.
So you're looking through this plastic. So yeah, whenever they turn yellow, you're just like, it's not as nice looking as if you're just looking through wire. So that's my only gripe about them. But gameplay wise, I think that Yeah, these tables are fun. I got no
Yeah,
gripes with those. Yeah.
yeah, real good. Yeah, I'd be happy to own this game. Like if one came around, it was cheap enough. It's a fun game. I think there's if you get used to it and get your eye in, you can have a lot of fun with getting the multi balls and shooting because I think the crossover ramp is your key to jackpots. I think that's where you shoot for the jackpots. Yeah, fun game, really
I
fun.
would have to change the backlash though, because
Yeah.
if you got a table called the Transporter, it better have Jason Statham on it.
Oh dear. Oh yeah. No, this is the full name of the game. It's not really apparent from the listing on IPDB, but it's Transporter: The Rescue. Um, the idea is that you're being trapped by this massive alien creature that's on the back glass, and you got to try and escape from it by using a transporter to beam me up, basically. And the one of the screens in the attract mode is "Beam me up, belly." So yeah, it's all about getting out of there, getting the heck out of Dodge. Um, and the other thing that I found interesting at the tournament, incidentally, I did pretty terribly. I think I got like about 12th or 13th, I think. But the other thing that I spent a lot of time on was actually Batman 66. I decided, oh yeah, I'm between games, I'm bored, I'll just drop a coin into this one and see how I go. I end up staying on there for a good 30 minutes because I get replay after
Wow.
replay. And yeah, I really got my eye in for the table. And I think it's one of those things that once you get your eye in for a table like that, it actually starts to become fun because you know what you're shooting for. You get used to the things you need to do. And I was getting pretty decent scores. I got like a 300 million score, I think, at one point, which on that game is fairly respectable. Though then I was standing next to the the number one pinball player in Australia, as covered in a Gold Coast news article video. So I was standing next to him and goes, "Oh, I'm pretty happy with that score. Oh, yeah, it's not a bad score. I got 4 billion on it the
Right?
other
Yeah.
day." And
Thanks, dude.
I went, uh-huh, yeah, oh, well, that's a pretty bad score, isn't it, mate? That's what I said. That's pretty crap, is it? He goes, yeah, it took me about an hour to get that. I went, oh, mate, I don't have the patience
Wow.
for that. But yeah, it's okay.
I'd gone to for Father's Day lunch. We went to this awesome pizza place in my town where I grew up and my parents still live, called
Oh,
Warehouse Pizza in Laverne. And
I've heard about this place before. You
yeah,
speak very highly of this
it's
place.
my absolute favorite pizza. Anyway, they had Lord of the Rings
Oh,
there, and so I figured, what the heck, I'll plunk in some quarters and play. Well, somebody had already plunked in 1 quarter, so I only had to put in 1 quarter to even get the game going.
nice.
And all of a sudden, it was one of those things where it was like, why am I doing so good? I had one of those magical first games where just like
Uh-huh.
every shot I'm aiming for, I'm hitting. I'm like, wow, I never do. I have no clue what I'm doing on Lord of the Rings. I don't think Stern did a very good job of keying you into what you need to be shooting for,
Yeah.
because lights just are on, but they're not blinking. And it just, I don't know. To me, it doesn't guide you very well.
Yeah.
It might have an exceedingly deep rule set, as everybody says, but it
It's
doesn't
one
help
that
you
you
while you're
need to
playing.
yeah, it's one that you need to learn while playing, not so much
Mm,
see from the very outset when you look at the game.
right. So anyway,
Yeah.
I earned a replay on that game, and then I went and played the next and did really terribly, but I earned a match on that game. And then I went and played the next game, and I earned a replay and a match. And it was funny because
Far out.
seriously, it got to the point where it felt like every game it was handing me a replay. I was like, man, it's just tossing these things out like candy. I wound up
Mm-hmm.
walking away from the table with 3 credits on it.
Far out.
Because I was like, I think by that point I'd played 5 games already.
He went,
And I
I'm
went,
kind
you
of
know what?
done.
I got my quarter worth out of this. I'll let somebody else, pay it forward, if you will. Let somebody else
Yeah.
have their fun. But yeah, it was kind of funny. It was like, man, I've never done good on this game, and right now it's making me feel like a hero, even though my scores were not
That
brilliant
great.
by for the imagination. Yeah. Um, so
That's a little bit like Batman 66 for me. I think one of the free games I got was a match, and then it was handing out replays relatively generously for me, and I was going, well, it's good because it keeps my hand in, like between games in the tournament. And I go,
Yeah.
oh, I was actually, my last game was Spider-Man Vault that I needed to play before I could sign off my tournament sheet. And I was going, yeah, look, it was actually Batman 66 was right next to Spider-Man. That's why I picked it. So I could keep an eye on the amount of people wanting to play it. And I kept on, like, I was nearly at the point where I was going to end and then I got to replay or a match and I was going to switch over to Spider-Man and play my tournament game. But I ended up just keeping on playing Batman all the time.
That's always the way it works, where you're like, hey, it's time to go. Okay, well, let me just get this one last game in. And you're like having the game of your life. You're like, oh, come on, end already. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't. Whatever you do, you can't make it end unless you physically let go of the flipper buttons.
Exactly.
Because you're that dialed in.
And that just feels so wrong.
It does. It really does. I can't stop now. I can't. It's just not, the pinball gods will frown upon me for doing such a disservice. Now, the last table that I want to mention before we drop this subject is they had a taxi there. And I saw some people like battling with it to get a 4 million point score. I was flat out getting 600,000 on it. It was just killing me. Just brutal as anything. I could not believe how brutal it was. And it makes me think that the one in Pinball Arcade is an absolute non-tuned properly table.
I agree.
Because it's so easy on Pinball Arcade compared to the real life table. Like every shot in that game, like the flipper strength in this one, this was a well-maintained table. Like I know the owner of this table, and he doesn't muck around with his game. So the flippers were tuned correctly, and they weren't sloppy. They were nice and tight, and the ball did not race up that left ramp like it does in Pinball Arcade. It was just clearing the apex of the ramp and making its way around. Like it doesn't have the turbo that it does in it. And I really think that a game like Taxi really does need to be dialed in real tight to make it fun, because that's the fun of it. Like, it's supposed to kill you all the time.
It needs to be a challenge.
Yeah, it does, because there's not really a lot to go for in that game. So the shots that you need to go for in the game need to be hard. But yeah, it was a beautifully presented game, but yeah, it killed me real bad. But yeah, that was pretty much a wrap up of the event. It was very good.
Quickly want to mention, we did wind up getting an email about when our first podcast was.
Somebody actually answered.
Well, somebody actually answered, and yes, it was in November of 2013.
Yes.
So the winner of that was Patrick Bonham. And
good on you, Patrick.
He was going to get Jared's code for Snowball.
Snowball on Steam. Yeah, awesome. Thanks for emailing in, and congratulations, mate. And thanks for listening.
It's really simple, folks. We don't make it difficult.
No, we try not to. We just want to give away. I actually have another code up my sleeve as well. Again, from the same studio, because they're very generous with their Steam codes. So Pixel Jammer, they've got another code that I got for filling a survey for their Nova Drift game that they were trying to promote, which if I had Steam, I would get. It's a twin stick shooter. It looks amazing. But yeah, I've got another code up my sleeve that I'd give away. It's not pinball related, the code I've got, but I'll work out a way of giving that away next time.
Yep. Stay tuned to hear about that. You got anything else to jaw on about there, Jared?
No, I'm pretty much done. I'm spent.
Tapped. All right. I am continuing to play the Uncharted series. I am just about finished with the third game. Probably will finish it at some point today, and then I'll be moving on to the fourth and final one that's out currently.
Oh, you'll be catching up with the series, like doing a binge on your series. Yeah, it is.
Right? It is. The sad thing is that my son keeps on walking in and going, well, what's going on now? And I realize that in his eyes, it all just looks like the same madness going on. And basically my description is always, well, there's a bunch of bad guys shooting at me, and I need to get rid of them and progress forward towards the treasure. Didn't you already get a treasure? Yeah, but now I'm trying to prevent the bad guys from getting this treasure. Yeah, but that was what you did in the other game. It's a different set of bad guys. You just kind of realize, yeah, okay, fine, they're all the same, but who cares? They're fun.
It's different skins, different treasures. Just leave me alone.
Well, especially, I got to say, I had watched, I did a back-to-back of watching John Wick and John Wick 2.
Oh, yeah.
And then I went and played, I was in the midst of playing Uncharted 2 at the same time, and I happened to be in a huge firefight battle that was going through kind of narrow corridors, and it felt like, after having watched John Wick and all the headshots and just picking up these machine guns and firing and then moving forward, it was like, oh, this is like playing the movie. This is awesome. So it was a really kind of fun to it was fun to do that.
That sounds cool.
Now I'm going to be really sad that when I finish this game, because then I'm going to be like, well, now what do I play?
Yeah, that's right. You might have to actually start playing some pinball again.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know. That, or for some reason I'm getting the twinge to throw in God of War again. But
yeah.
We'll see. That's
why not? If you got the game, you may as well go back and relive it a bit.
Yeah, the problem is it was a PS2 game. So now I've got the remasters for the PS3, but it's still kind of rough to step back.
Yeah. It would be.
It's better to let the memories in your head be like, that was awesome and it looked incredible, and then you throw it in and you go, ooh, wow, really?
Yeah, probably better idea.
Because there was a time when Gran Turismo 2 was amazing to look at.
Yeah. And then you look at it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll your eyes and go, okay, really? Interesting. Wow, yeah, can't believe that ever fooled me. Yep. All right, folks. Well, that is going to be all the time we have for today. Then we will. Hopefully, I'll get my hands on the beta or the actual release. Who knows what what's going to. I think Wipeout is intended to be released this next Friday.
Yep.
So I have a feeling next time we talk, it'll actually be out in the wild for everybody. So we can talk about that some. And like I said, folks, go get on the Steam sale for both Pinball Arcade and Zen. You'll be happy you did. Yeah, absolutely. You can go and touch the glow balls. Yeah, yes. I think I know what the title of our episode is. Yeah. Yep, true facts. True facts. All right, folks. So until next time, thanks for listening. Bye-bye.